Have you heard about the so-called Great Resignation? If not, you're likely to, in fact, right now, because a record number of people have quit their jobs or are threatening to because they're either burned out or they feel there just aren't enough opportunities to grow professionally within their organization.
Yeah, and if you're one of those on the fence, you probably want to be financially prepared for when you decide to walk. Here to tell us more about that is Brian Korienek. He's a senior advisor with Goldstone Financial. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, give us an idea. Just how bad is this and how worried should employers be right now if they think they have somebody that they value?
Well, you bring up a very good point. Employers right now, especially if they're valuing employees, should be concerned about it. A lot of people, especially in this day and age, want that work from home environment. And some of the companies out there are wanting people to go ahead and get back into the office, and people like the flexibility of working from home.
Well, to your point, I know of a couple of people that since the pandemic have quit rather than go back to the office. I've heard a lot of people threatening to do so. It's one thing to threaten it. It's another thing to pull the trigger. What do you want people to know about a sudden loss of income? What do they need to think about before they say to the boss, I'm out of here?
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Really, there's four things that you have to think about. The first thing you have to worry about is examining your monthly cash flow. Now, what we mean by that is you want to get a good idea of what those different expenses are first. So you want to go ahead and see what your cell phone bills are, mortgage payments, all of those expenses, and add those up and compare that with what your income is coming in. Obviously, if your income coming in is more than what your expenses are, you're sitting in a pretty good position. From there, we really want to go ahead and make sure that you have an emergency fund established. 6 to 12 months is what we recommend to have established in an emergency fund. One of the ways that you can do something like that is systematically, you can take money from your paycheck, move that on into your savings account automatically, and just make sure that you have that systematically done and you have that savings account starting to get built up.
Well, talk to us a little bit about, a financial planner. A lot of people think that they can kind of do this on their own. What is the benefit of getting a financial planner, and what kind of financial planner should they be looking at?
Well, definitely want to make sure you're looking at a fiduciary financial planner. There's fiduciaries and there's brokers. Goldstone Financial Group, we're fiduciary advisors. And really what we focus on is making sure that we have a 5-step retirement plan in place, where we're making sure we're looking at an income plan, investments, taxes, healthcare, legacy. So we're really trying to look at everything from A to Z in regards to financial planning. Managing money is great and that's really important, but in our eyes, that's just kind of a piece of the puzzle when it comes to retirement planning.
I think a lot of this, when it comes to the courage to tell the boss, Asta, is your age. I'll be honest. I think, I look back at myself when I was in 20s. I had a lot more courage than I certainly do now. We know that the average household has debt to the tune of $50,000 plus. What do you want people to know about their own debt before they quit their job?
So when it comes to debt, a couple of things. So we encourage clients to really organize the way that their debt's set up. So the first thing we recommend doing is writing down the amount of debt that you have, and then going ahead and writing down those interest rates next to it as to what the interest rate is on that debt. So for example, like credit cards or personal loans, things like that are obviously going to have higher interest rates on them. So those are things that we encourage clients to go ahead and pay off earlier. And then it comes to mortgages as well. We see a lot of people and a lot of clients that retire, and even though they don't want to have a mortgage, they do have a mortgage. And with interest rates right now being at an all-time low, we've encouraged a lot of people to go ahead and look to refinance their mortgage so they can free up some of that monthly cash flow when the paycheck does stop and there's no more income coming in from work.
All right. Well, Brian Korienek, he is the senior advisor with Goldstone Financial. Thanks for coming on, giving some folks something to think about if this is going to be their next move.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right.